Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Got a little crit race recap for y'all, but first, a little surprise. Yes, so we got the mythical rear camera angle. So that'll be nice in future videos, having that angle. But I'm excited to talk to you about this race. So this is the Dash for Cash Criterium. It's a unique format. Basically, every lap is a $10 preem. So it makes for some aggressive racing. And my job today was to try to sit in, conserve energy, and go for the win, because we were gonna try to scoop up as many preems as we could, but then also win the race. So we were going for the full Grand Slam. And the course is very straightforward. You can tell it's just four corner crit in an office park, the old American crit racing special. So let's jump into this. All right, so we're only a couple minutes in, and you could almost bet every single lap that people are gonna start to attack right about here and go for the 10 bucks. So each time I tried to kind of just sag climb almost, and I know this is flat as a pancake, so it's not sag climbing, but I just tried to, if there was a big acceleration at the front because people are going for the preem, I just tried to not respond to it and drift back and not be afraid to give up a few positions when people are accelerating. And I think that's a really undervalued technique. You know, people always say stay at the front, but I think being able to navigate the peloton and move back when it's advantageous for you, but then also move forward when it's a good time to move forward, is just a huge pack riding skill that everyone should practice. So yeah, kind of sag climb if you can. It's a great way of conserving energy. So with that being said, also look for free rides off the front. You know, just because you're trying to save energy doesn't mean that you shouldn't try to get off the front, because I always say this in my videos, oftentimes it takes less energy to ride off the front than ride in the surgy peloton, especially in a race like this with the preem every lap. So I saw this guy was going to attack, and I didn't even do a really good job. I had to spike up over 1,000 watts, but I hop in his draft, and I don't really take a pull. I'm sorry. And this is Nick. He's going to factor into the race later. He takes a pull, and I'm thinking maybe I can jump and try to grab one of these $10 preems. But I'm not going to go into the red to do it for sure. But I kind of look back, and you can see in the rear cam, the field is basically right there, and I'm pretty sure someone's going to jump me. And yeah, this is Grunman, who totally just smokes me for it. But yeah, look for free rides off the front, because that can also help you save energy, actually. This was a pretty funny sequence. These performance bike guys in front of me decided to start trading baseball cards within the crit. Now, I think Jeff on the left there had a flat or something, and the guy, his teammate, was passing him like a kit to fix it. So that was pretty funny. All right, so we're about halfway, and I still haven't got a $10 preem. I need to get some moolah. So I see these two riders jumping, and this rider in front of me, you saw him pit me for that first preem that I sort of half went for. That's David Grunman, and he's like one of the best drafts in the peloton. So I was trying to kind of hide behind him the entire race, and when I saw him coming, I definitely was gonna try to hop into his streamline, and yeah, I snagged one of these preems, and yeah, there we go, we rich boys. And I saw we had a pretty solid gap, and he's someone that definitely wants to ride a breakaway. So I kept pulling a little bit, and yeah, I was checking back, and I didn't want to burn too many matches in a move like this, because my job was to be ready for the finish. But yeah, I'm gonna start rotating with him, and I'm thinking maybe we can stay off for another lap, and maybe I can make it $20 to get super rich. I can buy like a gallon of gas or something. But the field is on us, and I'm honestly not super committed, so I go back to the field and start trying to get my heart rate down and prepare for the sprint coming up. All right, so we're just rolling through with 7 laps to go. And during the race, I had communicated with my teammates. A lot of them had actually raced earlier in the day, and this was honestly just kind of like a lower level race for us. We wanted to snag some preems and obviously win, but it wasn't like a big A race. So we decided that I was just going to try to freelance the sprint, and the guys were going to kind of support me, maybe go for late race flyers, but we weren't going to go for like a big lead out. So I decided to kind of just pace myself on this rider in front of me, his wheel. So this is Nick. I mentioned him earlier. He's a really strong sprinter from the Ride Bikes team. And yeah, I kind of just was his shadow for the last, quarter of this race. All right, so we're going through the start-finish straight. We got 5 laps to go, and my teammate Zach, who is just incredibly strong, he's like on a great string of fitness. Spoiler alert, he won the road race the day after this crit. He's on the front, pulling back. I think that's Dante up there, who was really aggressive all race. And I actually yell at him right at this point and say, hey, like, take it easy. We still got a lot of time. 5 laps, you want to be in the top quarter for sure, but with a race like this and with the reduced firepower that we have, I wanted to try to keep him fresh for the last 2 laps of the crit, where I think he could really be more helpful to me. So he's going to pull off here, and we're going to kind of let the chaos ensue, which is a little bit of a gamble. Maybe a break goes that we can't pull back, but this is sort of the calculated risk that you have to take when you're sort of like dealing with a small team, and there's no Mike's Bikes in this race. There's no like dominant team to pull things back. So we take that calculated risk, and you can see I think that's Max who's countering. So this is just, it's gonna happen, and we sort of just have to hope that it gets pulled back. All right, so we pick it up with 2 laps to go here. I'm still on Nick's wheel. I've been pretty good about defending my position. And my teammate, Zach, is going up there to try to keep the pace high. And that just allows me to keep my position a little bit easier if it's strung out. You can see that I'm getting a little fought here for Nick's wheel. But I just want to say, like, if you only have a couple teammates, I think this Tulsa Tough is going on right now. And I think Best Buddies versus Legion, which happened on the Saturday race, it was a great example of what you can do with like a small team. Because basically what happened was both Best Buddies and Legion had burnt a lot of their riders, and Best Buddies just waited as long as they possibly could to overtake the Legion train, and they won the race because of it. So I think if you have a small group of guys, that's a great tactic. But here in this race, I'm just kind of freelancing. I'm doing the old like Peter Sagan, and I have Matt behind me, who is about to almost get snapped into. I think the guy in the red bike, he got crossed up in my wheel, and yeah, that rear cam is paying off. I had no idea that happened. But Matt is going to try to sweep for me, which is just helpful in that I get fought less. But you can see on my left, the performance bike, they have a little 3-man lead out going, and they're kind of going to do what I just said Best Buddies did at Tulsa. But I'm holding strong. I know that Nick is a really good wheel in this, and I'm going to try to remain calm. I'm still down at 166 beats per minute, which is pretty, it's chill for me. So I'm liking this. I'm really thinking that I have a good shot here. All right, yeah, so things are getting messy, and it very rarely is a sprint just like a perfect lead out for you. There's always some mess, but it's getting a little sketchy, and I'm still on Nick's wheel, so I'm liking it. And you can see behind it, I was very cognizant of a swarm coming. It felt like we weren't going fast enough, even though we're going like 30 miles an hour. So Zach just pulls off, and I'm still fighting for this wheel, and it's not a perfect ride, but yeah, I'm still not in the red zone completely. I'm having to spike up watts. And here I feel this lead out coming from the performance bike guys, and I take a big shot from that rider right there on my right. He smacked into me, and it kind of sketched me out. And I sort of won their wheel, but not really. And I start opening up my sprint, and I think I can pass him, but I get pinched right there and have to stop my sprint. And that really is just not the way to win a race. And look who goes and takes the W. It's Nick. So, yeah, me leaving his wheel was obviously not the right call. You know, hindsight is 2020, but I think I got fourth. I got fourth there. So not the best. I was kind of disappointed, and I think the main lesson that I learned is you need a clean run to win one of these races. And unfortunately, I didn't have a clean run to just like rip my sprint, and yeah, that cost me. And also, I took a very circuitous route. Let's watch it again. So I think this is my first mistake. I needed to be cornering where the guy in black was. You know, he hit the apex. I was way off. So that's already making me take a much longer route. And then I did pause I had to stop pedaling right there. And yeah, I'm just way zigzagging all over the road, and that cost me. So congrats to Nick. You know, I think I learned a lot. You always do when you don't win. And yeah, we'll try again real soon. And thanks you all for tuning in, and see you in the next one.